This is the Bosch Chatillon 25-ton. It is a tier 10 French autoloading light tank, and I personally believe that this is the most challenging tank to drive in the game. I've talked about this many times in the past, and it's really challenging due to the fact that, first of all, it features obviously very little armor. It's a light tank, so the majority of shells fired at this vehicle, apart from the random stray shell hitting your upper plate or something like that, are going to bounce. The other thing that makes this tank very tricky is that it has very poor gun depression, only 6 degrees, which means that you can't really work ridge lines all too effective in this tank. And if you're up against a vehicle like an STB or a Patton, they can get hauled down, you're not going to pen their turrets, and essentially they have locked down that flank of the map. But, on the other hand, the Batchat has some amazing capabilities. 1,050 damage in 5.6 seconds, and you can make that even faster down to 4 seconds if you're running shell reload boost as a consumable. The tank also features amazing mobility and the most view range by far in the game. So when you use the view range and the clip and the mobility, you are able to easily outwit, outmaneuver, and outclip your opponents. But you need to know when to do that, where to do that, and how to do it. Because obviously if you don't know what you're doing, you're just gonna die. Like this map, for example. Driving wide is an absolute L. Do not drive wide in the Batchat. It's not a medium. You shouldn't be treating this tank like a medium. You should be treating it like, I like to call it a mobile tank destroyer, because that's really what you are. You're going to outspot your opponents at a distance, you're going to try and clip them, you're going to dip, you're going to maneuver somewhere else, and then later you'll come back and you'll do it all again. And that's kind of how I like to drive this tank. So, starting off, we're going to see if any of their tanks, they have a Stritzvon and a 140, try to go wide. We have 2 vehicles, a Chieftain and a 113 GFT, who are not going with the team, which is very unfortunate, but we also see that their 140 for some reason has gone over towards that side of the map, which means the rest of their team has also most likely gone over there. Now that's really good for us because we can obviously take advantage of this. So we see the AG, we see the IS-7, we see actually their whole team. Right now, I'm going to flank because I'm a light tank and that's what you do in the light. So we're going to get behind this Jag if we can. Oh, there you go. We got the enemy grill spotted. So we're going to aim in 1 shell. Unfortunate. We're going to load in 2 shells. There you go. And 3. Oh, but the IS-7 actually turned and is... What? Dude was literally all the way back there. Okay, well, I guess we're going to lose an additional 480 health. I am actually baffled that the IS-7 turned around and YOLO'd us. I did not think that was going to be the case. Is he still going to tunnel us? No. Okay. We're going to go for his track wheel. We're going to lock him down. Doing that, we also stop him from hitting our leopard. We're going to track him again, and we're going to get him one more time in the track wheel. I saw the IS-7, and he was right next to the AG, and I was like, okay, so he's going to continue going forwards. And then he turns and just YOLOs us. Okay, well, I would say you got to be observant in a vehicle like this, but you're not going to expect that to happen in any world. That was just stupid. So what we're going to do now, we can see that our E5 has shot at the YAG. And we're obviously going to take advantage of that. E5's going to distract him, so we're going to get to the side of these Jag Panzer. We're going to get 1, we're going to get 2, we're going to get 3 shells right into the back of his tank. And with that, all our 210E5 has to do is slam the shell into his tank and finish him off. So just like that, we've already done a very, very reasonable chunk of damage. Now our mouse is distracting a lot of tanks. So what we're going to do is we're going to go wide with this Leopard, and we're going to see if we can get to the side of their tanks and catch them off guard. Oh, they have 2 IS-7s, and they have a 140. Okay. Well, right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the 140. We're going to try and get to the rear of these vehicles. There's 1 shell into the IS-7, 2 shells into the IS-7, 3 shells. That is 1,050 damage we took off of his tank, and that brought us up to 3,600. In a vehicle like the Bosch Chatillon, you always got to weigh your advantages, your disadvantages, and if it's worth it to push a tank, or if you shouldn't. Right now, by far the most dangerous vehicle on the enemy team, for me, is the 140. That is why we're going to push this player. We're going to bounce him right in the hull, apparently. But this time we're not going to bounce him. That's the nice thing about being an autoloader, is you obviously have the opportunity to shoot more than 1 shell. So there you go. That was a 4,000 damage gain. We took advantage of everything that was in front of us. And even though we had a bit of confusion there, we were still able to come out with a victory. We assisted 2,100 damage. We did 3,800 damage. Combine that, we did 5k. That's a really solid result. So we not only spotted opponents, we got the Grill killed just by detecting him, instantly getting him cleared. So we did our job as a light spotting the enemy tank destroyers, but we also distracted an IS-7, got him clipped, which allowed our teammate to shoot him without getting shot back at all. So just a really solid result in general. Notice how I was always making sure I was not the main point of focus, and if I was, like the IS-7 chasing me, I made sure to quickly dispatch that as me being the main target. Once the IS-7 got distracted, that is when I got behind him, I got a full clip out, and I made sure to punish. I did not realize they had 2 IS-7s. That's what I think really got me confused, because I saw that one IS-7 next to the AG, and I think he kept going down the road. And then the other IS-7 just randomly popped out of Narnia in front of me. I just didn't realize they had 2, so that was on me. Always make sure you're reading enemy lineups. It's one thing I always forget to do. But a solid battle for our first game in this vehicle. We're now in battle 2, and we can see that there are some nasties up against us. We have a 183, we've got a Grill, and we got a T110 E3. They only have 2 heavies, though, a Super Conqueror and a BZ-75. I mean, technically the E3's a heavy as well. So the question, first of all, is where is our team going to go? I'm pinging that our team should go up, but does that mean our team is actually going to do that? We can already see just from the maneuver of our Jagdpanzer that he is going to go down. But our 113 appears that he might go up, so it's going to be a 50-50. We are going to start off by making our way right into this bush here, and we're going to see what we run into. Got the enemy Sheridan in front of us. Sheridan makes a weird maneuver, and we're going to get 1 shell into his tank. We're going to get 2 shells into his vehicle. Leopard's going to rush him. Leopard's going to ram him, and we're going to finish him off. Just like that, the enemy Sheridan is dead. Now, the reason I did not play aggressive like that Leopard did is because of the fact I knew they would have a TD sitting in the back. And as we saw, our Leopard got absolutely bonked. So I took advantage of the enemy Sheridan, but I did it in a way that did not put me in a compromised position. Now, the BZ is getting absolutely nuked. We're going to get 1 shell ourselves into his tank. We're not able to get another out just yet, but that's okay, because we also have the T110 E3 in the back. We're not able to pen our first shell on his tank. We're not able to pen our second shell. We are running calibrated, and as you can see, we can pen his lower plate. Just, unfortunately, our RNG did not allow us to do so. So we're going to reload. The Leopard gets absolutely cleared, which is not really what you want. E3 is driving off to the side. We get 1 pen into his vehicle. We get 2 pens into the E3. We're going to reload again. We're going to go for the track wheel. Not able to get the 3rd pen out, but we're not spotted. We're literally able to outspot that E3 and not even be detected ourselves, which is amazing. And it shows where being in a light tank is so important to helping out your team. Now we can see that the enemy Progetto was right in front of us here. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit in the spot. We're going to get 1 free shell into the Progetto. We're going to get 1 shell into the Grill. And we're going to get 1 shell into the enemy Super Conqueror. That is an additional 1,050 damage we've clipped out. And again, we are taking advantage of our opponents without putting ourselves in the firing line. This is something you always want to do in a vehicle like this. So we're going to back up here, and we're going to put ourselves right into this bush. That way, we're not spotted until we shoot our first shell. So we get 1, we get 2 shells into the Super Conqueror. Not able to get our 3rd out, but that's okay. We start our clip reload. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sit wide right here. We are definitely detected by that Super Conch again because of the fact that he backed up. But that's okay. Right now we're focusing on reloading and getting the E3 and the FE2 and 5P183. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to focus that E3. We're going to drive right behind him, and we're going to see if we can get 1 shell in. There you go, 302 damage. 2 shells. And what we're going to do is we're going to get behind him here. We're going to give him a nice little love tap, bring him down to 17 health. I don't know how the Super Conch managed to bounce me. Honestly, that's pretty impressive. Doesn't really matter, though. I mean, this is a win either way. And we took advantage of every single situation we needed to. Obviously, I'm not going to clear a low health target when I can get him anyway in just a few seconds after. So always go for damage if you know you're going to win. That's just a fact. If you're in a situation like we had here, and you see there's a full health E3 or a Super Conch that you can shoot for 12, I'm going to go for the full health E3 because I'm able to just give myself extra damage with no downside. Nobody died because of what I did. Nobody got punished. And we were able to get out a lot of damage. We did 5,000 that game, taking advantage of every single player and opportunity we could. So I personally love playing in the Bosch Arteon 25 ton. Not every game's going to be a win though. As we can see, I played a couple games in the tank today just to have some fun, and I did pretty good in them. Even the defeats, I did 3,200, and we ended up doing 4,600 in the first defeat. So it's not like the tank's ever going to do bad if you know how to play it properly. It's an amazing tank. I would definitely say that if you want to use mobility and you want to clip, this is a very solid choice. It's a tricky tank to drive, and it definitely isn't for the unskilled. You know, if you're not that good at the game, that's your decision whether you should grind this tank or not. I am personally not saying to go for it, but if you do want a challenge, this is a vehicle that is very good. I actually got really good at the game playing in the Bosch Arteon because when I was really young, I didn't know how to play lights, and this tank just got introduced into the game. I ground down the line, and I learned after probably a couple hundred games how lights work, their overall playstyle. It's actually the same thing I've done on World of Tanks PC. I played over 1,000 battles in my Char MLE 75 till I 3-marked it, and it was painful, but after 1,000 games in that tank, I learned about every single position that you should drive a light tank on how to perform well in the game, and because of that, I ended up doing pretty well. So that is my advice. Take it or leave it. I don't know. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.